Hey friends, I'm Lindsay Morgan, Nonprofit Resource Specialist at the Community Resource Envision Center. But my friends call me Birdie, and you can too. Welcome to A Little Birdie Told Me, formerly known as the Envision Center News Podcast. Around here, we share the good stuff happening in North Idaho nonprofits and philanthropy, the stories behind the work, the people making it happen, and the little things I'm hearing that are making a big difference in our community. So stay tuned for a bird's eye view of the true heart of our community. Hey friends and listeners, today we are giving you a little sneak peek into the behind the scenes of what we do here at the Community Resource Envision Center by having a VIP guest, our very own Katie Begalke.
Hey.
Hello, girl.
Thanks for having me.
Not only is it a special day because we have you here with us, but also this is our 100th episode of the podcast. Yes, it is it is the very thing that we want to celebrate. So this is fantastic. It just made so much sense to have you here for this conversation. But to start us out, really, you are the executive director of the Community Resource Envision Center here.
Yes, I've had that joy for the last 3 years.
3 years, yes. And you have worked for the Envision Center prior to that.
Correct. I was our PR and program coordinator, and I was working under Linus Jelinek. And she was the one who started the podcast with Sarah Hensel. And Sarah Hensel was this bright little shining star. She's moved on from Idaho since, but she helped immensely. And 4 years ago, the podcast started.
Okay. So tell me, our podcast was called Envision Center News. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying it in past tense because...
Because why?
We're changing the name a little.
Ooh.
I mean, we are changing the name. I was going to say a little bit, but no, like we are changing the name.
What is the new name, Lindsay?
The new name is A Little Birdie Told Me, and truly it's a combination of things. So essentially, in my mind, since the pandemic, when we use the word news, it rubs people the wrong way, maybe, or maybe not the wrong way, but just it's a trigger and it brings up other things that could be heavy. And while we are explaining the things that are going on right now in our community, why not take a little spin?
Definitely.
It's a little brighter, right?
Yeah.
And you're just the boss to just let me spread my wings, if you will, and try these new things. Yep. Oh, just a sly little birdie here. And trust me, I will run out of birdie jokes, so let's not worry about that. Yeah, I know. Thank God. Anyways, so I am filling the shoes of Connie, who was our prior host, and those are big shoes to fill. She did a great job, and I really hope that I can echo a lot of the conversation that she had.
Yeah.
But my nickname is Birdie, and so that just kind of started... who knows when, just a nod to, I think, my free spirit attitude or something. And so we're just changing it up just a little bit, but we are still doing the same thing.
I love it. Well, I've gotten to do a lot of recording at KRFY, listener-supported 88.5 radio in Sandpoint. And they had told me that it was like listening, like you're catching gossip when you're listening on the radio and you like turn into something. It's like you get this little thing and then you got to hook them. I know that this isn't radio, it's podcast, but it fits very well with the Little Birdie Told Me. It's like you're getting a little inside scoop, not so much the news. You're getting deeper information and an inside look. Yeah, love that.
Yes, as if a birdie was flying around looking at things.
Look at you.
No,
it's not stopping anytime soon.
We're not doing that. Anyways, but we are still interviewing and talking with our nonprofit leaders in the area and philanthropists and people that are involved in the nonprofit work that we do in this community. And so that will very much stay the same. So having said all that, let's talk a little bit here about the Community Resource Envision Center.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, what is our mission here?
Yeah, so our mission is to empower the community through connections solutions, service, and support. And that's very broad, but essentially we are a navigation system for people in crisis or in need that are navigating life's difficult moments. And so that can look like a variety of things. It can look like somebody who needs housing assistance. It might look like somebody who's having a hard time, getting gas in their vehicle. It may be somebody who's dealing with an aging parent and just is navigating that for the first time. It really is the gamut. But then there's also this other flip side of what we do, and that has kind of come in the past. We've been an organization for 16 years, and because of all of that navigating and needing to know the services in our community and the service providers and the nonprofits, we started to kind of become these little community experts that has our little fingers in everything, unintentionally so. And so what that allows us to do is make a lot of connections to nonprofits. It gives us the opportunity to support them. We have a lot of volunteers that come to us looking to get plugged in for a variety of reasons, and oftentimes that doesn't lie within the Envision Center. It lies at the food bank, or it lies at the animal shelter, or cleaning spot bus. And we're so fortunate to have a lot of church groups that come to us also for needs, whether we have a person in our community who's in need, or we have a group of people that want to meet needs. What is out there? How can we help? So we play a lot of just connecting, which I love. And sometimes I try to explain what we do to someone who has no idea. And I'm like, it's like we're building this beautiful community puzzle, and pieces are just being dumped in our laps every day. And sometimes that piece is very evident where it goes. Sometimes you know which section of the puzzle it goes in, and other times you're like, I'm just going to have to shelf that one. I don't know. And what happens within sometimes days, week, month is that puzzle piece is crystal clear and it gets plugged in, and it just is, it's just a blessing. And I really can say that Dave Peets and Rich Creetall, the two gentlemen who started this 16 years ago, they planted the seeds for that, and we just have this beautiful ripple that continues out today. And just past November, both of those gentlemen passed away within a few weeks of each other, and I had the privilege to speak at one of their funerals and share that over 5,500 individuals were touched by his life back in November. So there's many more. I haven't looked the number, but that's just the individual. That's not the dependent in that family. That's not the spouse of that person. That's not, it's a big number. And our community is not a large number. So it's really impactful to look at that work that was started so many years ago, just by helping a single veteran get connected to resources.
And it just went from there. And truly, it's not, like you mentioned, it's not just about the clients or our community members coming in needing something. It's actually partnerships with our businesses, our local businesses around here for support that way, or partnerships with other organizations.
Right.
That's a big part of really my role here, but it is a big piece that we like to look at, is just making, those are also puzzle pieces, and making the connections so that we can find solutions for these folks.
Absolutely. So Linus, my predecessor, she would always choose a word for the year. And in my office, which is just behind this wall over here, there's this little Scrabble board that has all of her words. And my first year, I chose the word relationships to really formulate the structure of where I was going to focus my attention. And it truly is all of these relationships that need to be treated very carefully, and I hope I'm doing a good job with that. I sure intend to. And your position, like you had mentioned, is specific to withholding those relationships, and everything that we do, from the Festival of Trees to Live Give 7B to our fundraising events, and even the rent on the subletting on our floor, like it's all relationship based, and it grows that network, and it allows us to be plugged in. It allows us a seat at the table to hear the things that are happening. And I just hope that we remain a revolving door of information so that this just continues to help people feel connected and like part of community.
Well, I can say, because I have a front row seat, that you're doing a great job.
Okay.
Thank God. Yeah. No, you're doing a great job in that you do provide a lot of opportunities for those connections, and you're always curious about what could be next. And speaking of, there's some exciting things going on for us right now.
Yeah, always.
What are some things that we should tell that are going on behind the scenes here?
Behind the scenes. Well, we've had a lot of team growth. So in the past year, we've seen 53% increase in our clients, and so that's a lot of new people. 71% of those, I think it was 825 or 23 clients last year that we served. 71% of those clients came to us for the very first time. So they had never been through our doors, called our lines to get assistance. And what happens with a lot of first-time requests is shame. There's a lot of just like hesitation to even ask for help. And so those stories take a long time to kind of tease out of people to understand what it is that they actually are needing assistance with. And so our team has needed to grow to also meet those needs. And so part of that has been, we have now another client resource specialist to help Angel. We have Stephanie, who's part of our team through the Department of Labor, and she's helping with our podcast recording. Of course, we have our interns, and we're just growing, and it's really good. There's a little bit of growing pains with that because obviously that's just what it is. Like I think of our organization kind of as like this toddler right now.
Yeah.
Like we're not small.
A cute one.
We're not big. We're adorable. We're adorable. And we trip a lot. And it's let's figure out what size shoe we're wearing. Oh, yeah, you did trip this weekend.
Yeah, I fell off my scooter. Oops. Hey, work hard, play harder.
Oh, good. Yeah. It's okay. It's good. Anyhow, we're in this position where I feel like we really have the opportunity to go big and to grow. And so some of that behind the scenes look is I don't know how many people know that we have 14,000 square feet of space here and that we have over 35 partners on our floor. And that network is incredible, right? So half of them are nonprofit partners who we're able to, have alongside us when a client comes in, and there's, multiple organizations supporting that client.
Yeah.
Some of the organizations that are here that are nonprofits don't necessarily have as much overlap with our clients, but we love them anyway, and it provides them a stable footing and an affordable space and a professional space to get their feet underneath them. I think of John Totten with Dog Smile Adventures, who's one of those kind of partners. And then we have a bunch of solo entrepreneurs in this space that are using it to also bless our community, right? Like people need websites, and Lauren Whitney of Cedar Stream Media has done a couple of websites for nonprofits recently because of referrals and connections. And it's just, you don't have to be in the nonprofit sector to be part of community or serving community.
Yeah, we truly do see we don't see lines in between those things, I should say. We see how one does affect the other with businesses and nonprofits all together. We're all trying to make the community stronger and provide services. And so it does make a lot of sense to have a space that provides that organic exposure, if you will.
Right.
When we have a client in here looking for one thing, we have found, especially with those essential needs, it leads to other needs that, we just happened 2 cubicles down.
Right.
Let's get you signed up for those services or whatever it is. I've seen that happen, and I think that's really powerful.
Oh, it's amazing.
So
it's amazing.
Your view of expanding that, right?
Right, exactly. And so what would it really look like if all of our service providers were under one roof? We had done a poverty simulation, gosh, I guess probably almost 2 years ago now. And it just was heavy. It's really heavy when you go through lived experiences that people have had, and you recognize that we can't change poverty. We can't change what is happening, systematically through families and the financial divide that we see. disabilities, aging, like all of these things that
really
put
just
people
human
at
nature,
exactly
too.
right. So what I see is like we have an opportunity to change the equation to make it easier, right? Like let's at least make it easier. So what would it look like if someone who's going through issues and needs a little bit of community support doesn't have to drive all around town to get those resources? They don't have to choose between gas or childcare or groceries. They can come to one place and they can get those needs met. And while they're getting those needs met, they can feel the love of community and also feel dignity. So what would it look like if, our senior center was here and we had a child care here and we had mental health professionals all under one roof so that mama could come in, put her kid in a trusted daycare situation, come and, get the mental health help she needs, fill out a Social Security form or whatever the form is that low-income housing form, and do that without having a little one tugging on her pant leg while she's trying to be present, and then go pick up that little kid and have a meal down in the little atrium that's in this building.
Yes, and it's already here.
It's here. Yeah. So we're sitting on a 220,000 square foot building on 12 acres that is currently for sale. And about 2.5 years ago, we learned about that opportunity and we started dreaming. What would it look like truly if we could make that happen? And I think what we've been learning in this is that it's not in our timing. It's not something that comes overnight. It again goes back to the relationships, to this greater understanding that like we're stronger together, right? Like we have 3 times the national average of nonprofits in our community. They're all doing amazing, incredible things and serving in a terrific way. But what we also see is that there's competition for dates on the calendar. There's competition for donors. There's competition for strong board members. There's, maybe that we could be a little bit more synergistic and efficient, and we could stretch dollars by being under one roof, using each other as a network. Right?
So we do have partnerships already existing here on the floor that our office is on. And lately, really since the beginning of the year, we've been having open houses where we're able to invite the community in and potential partners and people looking for an office space or people just curious about the vision come in and walk around this big giant building, really.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that watching these folks come in, people didn't know it was here, meaning they're walking into this auditorium that is turnkey ready. Right. And they said, wow, I didn't know this was here. And then they rattle off all the uses that it could serve.
Yeah, those open houses were really fun. We typically had about 15 to 20 people that would come to those. And it was an opportunity to just dream and see a space that's been forgotten. So if people hadn't been a part of Coldwater Creek, they likely have not seen this building. Or if they've been in this building, they may have come, to Calvary Chapel next door, but have never been in this area beyond. And so 3 months ago, when we got our extra 4,300 square feet of space, it opened us up into looking out into this atrium, and it piques people's interest, right? And so we go and we have, fortunately, the permission of the ownership to go.
They're so patient with us.
And yes, and we've hosted a couple of these open houses, and we just walk up to the 3rd floor, and they see this beautiful open atrium that feels very much like the Columbia Bank building where Marigold Cafe is, and which I love to point out because our senior center, when Lisa was there, Lisa Bond would always say, I want our senior center to feel like Marigold Cafe. And I'm like, well, that's a space where people come to see people in business and see people living and thriving. And it's not a singular solitude place off on its own. It's not isolated. It's part of a community building and space, right? And so
it's to me, I'm like, of that building.
Right. Yeah. And while we are not in the heart of Sandpoint, we're not so far away. We have parking. We have all of this place and space. And so if you bring partners here, then, that you could have that open cafe and you could have a meal being served every single day and lingering coffee meetings and having just this open space and place to play and create and to talk and to communicate. And there's just space here. So about 43% of the building is occupied. So what we do on those open houses is we walk the third floor where there really is nothing going on up there besides old furniture and opportunity.
Yes.
And so much space. And then we go down to the first floor and we sit in that open air atrium that's got 3 floors above it. And we see this beautiful cafeteria space. And we invite people to think of all of the noises and the conversations and the clinking of utensils and bustle and hustle of what community sounds like. And then we go down the hall to a 220-person auditorium. That is state of the art. Well, it was state of the art. It would need a little bit of refurbing, but the AV equipment would need an upgrade. But it's a lecture hall. I mean, you could have council meetings in there. You could have Lake Pend Oreille theater performances in there. You could have Suzuki Strings performances in there. You could have all sorts of classes, and it's just vacant. And
trainings and sort of, yes, all of that.
And like you said, people's eyes just like pop open, their jaws drop, and they're like, gee. And then we go into this other area, what we see is potentially becoming a makerspace studio someday, and letting that become a place where, what would it look like if instead of coming in and making a cutting board, you're like, oh, I want to learn how to do something and I want to get my hands dirty and I want it to be useful. And it's like, oh, well, we're building a set right now for the Lake Pend Oreille
theater shows.
The theater group.
They have that.
Yes, the repertory theater, right? And then we can store it here because there's storage and there's, large bay areas where trucks can come, and it's just, we have so many organizations operating in their own systems, and I get why that happens, right?
Yeah.
But what would it look like if we shared some of that responsibility, shared some of that space, had the ability to, reduce the overhead for our organizations so that the donor dollar just stretched so much further?
Absolutely. I used to teach painting classes, as you know. That's how we met.
Yes.
Back when. But it's much like doing that where you are, when you're painting or working on something, and an organization focused on their mission, which is great. But you only see what's in front of you until you take a step back and you can look at the whole masterpiece and you see how other parts help. Like the lighting on this part helps the shading on this part. And like all of it comes together suddenly.
Yeah.
I see it as that kind of potential, that work, where we do have the spot bus that will come out this far for our clients, which has been huge. And I really do love the atrium in that it has like the 90s mall food court vibe.
Totally.
Which that was a time, right?
That was a time.
If any good ideas were happening, it was happening while you're having,
hilarious. I just smell of those like Annie's pretzels or the cinnamon something.
Jamba Juice and all of it. But the synergy that happens from just being in that open space is really inspiring, I think.
Yeah. Hey, I like that you mentioned the spot bus.
Yes, the spot bus.
So for spot bus, 2 things about that. First, we have a tenant on our floor, and he works for a place called PrepCom, and they make ham radios. Actually, I think they just renamed to Morris Nexus.
Oh, that's right, yes.
But he takes the spot bus to work in the mornings, and it just brings me great joy to see that. Yes, right to the front door. And it makes me just filled with joy to see that happen because we had to fight to make that that bus stop a reality here. And then just recently we learned that we were awarded an AARP community grant.
Yes.
And so we will be getting a $12,000 assistance check from the AARP to put in an actual spot bus shelter on McGee Road because everyone asks us first, where are you located?
Yes.
It was so hard to get here. So it's going to also be dual purpose as wayfinding signage. And so we will finally have representation for the Envision Center on McGee Road, as well as that spot bus shelter, so that people will also recognize that, yes, in fact, the spot bus does stop on McGee, at the Envision Center, at the Department of Labor, at Calvary Chapel, at our VA clinic. Those are 4 darn good reasons to stop at this location.
Absolutely. And that will help us tremendously that way. It's a great solution for something that we've been needing for a little while.
Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm just thrilled we got a grant, right?
I know. Yay for us.
Outside of Bonner County money coming in. So I feel like double win on that. Yeah.
Absolutely. We have events that we hold that help to bring people together, but also raise money at the same time. So what do we have on the horizon right now? What's our next?
Our next
golf course?
Yes, we're heading over to the Idaho Club on June 22nd, and that will be our 6th annual golf tournament. And we are just so fortunate to our partners at the Idaho Club for allowing that to happen for us. And we have a tremendous day out there, and we try to pack it with little surprises and ways to make those golfers feel very appreciated. The majority of our golfers that play in that tournament already have memberships at the Idaho Club. So they're paying to play a course that they can pay, that they've already played for.
Yeah.
And so we really want to just thank all of those members and the people that continue to support us in that effort, because it truly allows us to live our mission.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then once that wraps up, we're going to go straight into Festival of Trees planning, because that will be here before you know it.
Yes, ma'am. And truly, if any of you know, Katie has a love of games. And so anything we do is so much fun. It's so much fun. It's true.
I think it's fun. And I'm glad you think it's fun. I don't know how much everyone else thinks it's fun.
I get lost on the rules, but whatever. We make it happen.
People are like, oh, that's exhausting.
I know. Just stick with us. You're going to have a good time either way. And it's all for a good cause in the end.
Yes.
We promise.
Absolutely. Are we reminiscing about Kentucky Derby watch party right now?
Yeah, that was so much fun. The hats and the apparel and the spirit that people bring to those kind of events.
Yeah.
It's so great.
It's a fun and friend raiser. We put a lot of energy and time into finding ways to engage with our community, and we hope that every time we do it, it is valuable for the people that we serve, for the people that we're connecting with, obviously for our staff and for our board members. But that one was especially fun. Our board members competed in a Jell-O competition.
Oh, yeah. One of my best friends won one of those Jell-O molds. And it was very bourbon tasting.
I heard she brought it home on a motorcycle.
She did. She brought it home on the motorcycle, and it actually made it, and it was totally fine.
The amount of jiggle that must have been going on. I love it. I love it.
So what is on the horizon? What is it that you hope that people can understand about the work that's being done here now, looking ahead?
Yeah. I think the biggest opportunity we have is that relationship building and that trust building, that this is not, this idea of a nonprofit and economic hub that really becomes a community center for our community. It isn't something that the Envision Center is driving because we want some place to manage no, it's really just we see this absolute need in our community for space, for one, and a need for becoming a little bit more strategic and smart with the way that we're behaving as stewards of our donor dollars, right?
Yeah.
And so what does it look like really to help the people in crisis, right? And so, what if Helping Hands, Healing Hearts came under our roof? What if the Senior Center came under our roof? What if we partnered with the YMCA? What if the food bank had a branch here? What if the library had a portion of their books here, or Maker Studio here? What would it truly look like to become a community center? And those things are happening all over the nation, I must say, and they're thriving. And I think, what we saw after COVID was aren't stronger when we isolate. We just
Right.
aren't, you know?
Yeah.
And
We're still seeing that.
And even before COVID, we had gone, we had made intentional steps to do things on our own. And I believe that communities are stronger together. And so what can we do to bring people under one roof and in that capacity so that we can serve people in need, people meeting needs, and everyone in between just better?
I totally agree. What a delight. No, but really, Katie, you have such a great, it's a bright vision of how things could be. And I think it's not unrealistic to think that perhaps someday we'll get there. And even if it's not the Community Resource Envision Center, but it's a project of the community,
right?
Then I can truly see.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, right? Like somebody had asked me to put it on paper. I mean, the idea is on paper in 1,000 different ways, but to like actually design and segregate out the building for all of these different organizations. And I refuse to do it. And the reason is because we'll only do it and know it when the right partners are at the table, and they're going to inform it. And, it doesn't need to look a certain way. I don't want to pretend that I have the full grand plan for how this all comes together. And that's where I hope that anyone listening would love to just come alongside and say, hey, I have this piece of the puzzle, right? I'm a financial wizard and I know how to stack deals, and I can help you with, this is how much you need in loans, and this is what you're going to need in fundraising, and this is what you can take out from grants, and here's how we're going to compact this nice little package, and we're going to make an offer to the ownership, right? Maybe there's someone who comes alongside us as a nonprofit tax accountant who can can really assist in that regard. But truly it is going to take a community, and we have a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of conversations that have been started, a lot of work that has been done to make this dream less of a dream and more of an actual vision.
Yes.
But again, I don't know that there's this clear path or this, this step leads to this step, that leads to this step. We're just taking, obviously, steps forward, but it's not a clear path right now. And
that's okay.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're not pretending to have all the answers, because really, who does, to be honest?
Yeah, I just am praying that I have the right questions to ask people, right? Like people will come into our circle, and I feel very fortunate to know them. And I just want to, keep teasing out information about them so that I know how to ask, how to tap into their expertise. And if you're listening to this and I have tapped into you and I haven't asked the right question yet, shoot me a little text message.
A little text message.
But
because really, we forget sometimes, I think, when we're doing, especially nonprofit work, that we don't actually have to have all the answers. We just have to be brave enough to ask the questions and to be curious.
Right.
And I think that's what you're doing here.
Yeah. And I my biggest fear is that I sound like the boy who cried wolf in some broken record. And really, I'm passionate about it because I feel like I was put in this position for this exact time. Like, I don't have a family. I live in this community, and this community has become my family.
Yes.
And I just want more of that. And I see people all the time that want more of that. And so I feel like it's just kind of my duty to make that happen and to keep my foot on the pedal and a little bit of fuel to the fire, to make that a reality. And if it is, fabulous. And if it isn't, the right thing will come out of it also. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And, our organization has grown just by putting the vision out there. It has grown our organization from the board involvement to the conversations that we're having with community members, with donors, with our partners, and that are providing services. And my goodness, when I started here, our floor was maybe a third full, and now we have 2 offices to rent, which I'm hoping are going to go to Tess at 208 Recovery.
Yes.
And 1 cubicle space. So we're to the max. We're filled to the brim, which is wonderful. And that doesn't happen without planting a vision and going towards what we want to accomplish. So
absolutely. And speaking of Tess, not to call you out, Tess, but this area needs some substance abuse support, like group support. So she's working on that, and she's brought that to a lot of other areas around us. So anyway, just a sly little
another little plug.
That's what we do here. Okay, I love talking to you. We do this all the time, and but let me do something fun, if I may.
Okay.
I'm going to do a quick fire this or that sort of thing. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you just say the answer that first comes to mind. Don't overthink this.
That makes me nervous.
Don't overthink this. And if this is a flop, we won't be doing these things. But maybe we will.
Okay. All right. Hit me, Birdie.
Okay, you ready?
Uh-huh.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay, bourbon would have been an acceptable answer, but I love that you kept professional and went with coffee. Okay. How do you start best? Is it 0 in your inbox or 1,242 unread emails with inner peace?
Oh.
How's your inbox looking?
Oh, there are a lot of unread emails.
Okay, but you have inner peace.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I've got a little piece.
Okay, we'll work
They're
on
not
that.
stressing me out.
Okay,
and I'm not
good.
cleaning them out anytime soon either.
Me either. Big spreadsheets or big ideas on sticky notes? What's your style?
Well, spreadsheets over sticky notes for
Okay.
sure. But the big ideas are just always they're like pinned, they're stucky to my brain. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Early bird productivity or late night inspiration?
Early bird.
Okay. Early bird. You hear that? Early bird catches the worm. Let's see. Building the vision behind the scenes or being out in the community?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm really
And you'd have a
down
tough
the
time
middle.
answering.
I'm really down the middle.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a great segue to talk about why I appreciate you so much, Lindsay.
Oh, gosh.
It's because you get to be my face and my voice out in the community, and I always trust what comes out of your mouth, and
thank
it always
goodness.
comes out with fun, which I appreciate first and foremost, and professionalism and kindness. You're just very kind and
Thank you, Katie.
relationally driven, and I appreciate that. So it's really great to have someone out in the community doing the work of the Envision Center and allowing me to stay in my office and kind of with
And
my
do the
nose to
behind
the
the
grindstone, because I like that work too. I like both, but
Okay.
too much of one or the other tips the scale. So
Totally.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That was really nice to say. And that wasn't in my script. So dream big and go for it or slow and steady growth?
Oof. Well, dream big and go for it.
Yes.
Dream big and go
We're
for
shooting
it.
for the stars.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think it's great. Other people can help us with slow and steady. Right?
I mean, and the thing is, dream big and go for it and go slow and steady. They're the same thing. They really are the same thing. And
It
that's
really
what I'm
does.
recognizing here is
Okay,
like,
yeah.
we've got this big dream and it's not my timing. Like, it's just, it's
Yeah.
not my timing. And the minute I let go of things, like, God, the universe just takes it and punts it out of the stadium.
Yes.
And I've seen that time and time again. And so it's not ours to do. So it's like, do the slow and steady work, but just keep that big vision always. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. And then one more, winning grants or building donor relationships?
Oh, definitely donor relationships.
Yes. I can see that.
Yeah.
For the work that we do.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's so much more rewarding. I mean, it feels like you're winning the lottery when you win a grant, personally for me, because I don't have many under my belt. But when you go and you have a relationship with someone and you understand that it's mutually beneficial. You're not asking them for something. You are giving them the opportunity to serve their community. You are giving them an opportunity to help someone in need. You are giving them an idea of what's happening within our community that they're not aware of. And most people want to help. and they don't know where they can help. And so I think that's an easier thing to do one-on-one than it is to do in a grant.
I've seen that, especially from watching you. So I think it's really inspirational that way. See? Okay, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. But is there any other parting words, Katie?
No,
Begalke?
just thank you. I'm very excited about the new format.
Yes.
And I'm excited to hear what the new intro music will become.
Oh, yes. Stay tuned. This is good stuff. So cue the outro music. Well, friends, thanks for listening. I'll be back soon with more of the good news, but in the meantime, you can keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, and at CRECidaho.com. Until next time.